Welcome to Intensity Broadcasting. My name is Josh Hall. This is the Morris Customs Truck Series brought to you by the SCSRA here on Intensity Broadcasting. We're here at Richmond Raceway on iRacing, getting ready for our first race of the playoffs here in the Morris Customs Truck Series. Let's take a look at those points coming into tonight. You see Devin Butchino up at the top of the board. Jeffrey Belk 1 point back. Those are bonus points for wins. So with Devin Butchino getting that one extra playoff point, he's able to move himself ahead of Jeffrey Belk, who was our regular season champion. Colin Willems sits back in third. Eddie Morris back in fourth. David Wright, Joe Wright, Michael Lawrence, and Dustin Dean. So you see how the points have reset coming into this first race of the playoffs here tonight. Of course, this is going to be a barn burner for sure. Short track racing at its finest. We already see drivers out there on track making their way around, trying to figure out this tricky D-shaped short track. You see Devin Butchino up into the wall already. And Brett Merle also having some issues there. So it's going to be an interesting one for sure. Here's Brian Merle Jr. making his way around the track, trying to figure this place out. So we got about a minute and a half here before we get qualifying underway. Of course, Richmond and Michigan will be your round of 12. And we'll move to Talladega and Phoenix for your round of 8 and round out the season at Las Vegas in just a couple weeks. Junior spinning it down to the infield. Jake McCarty out on track, not one of our playoff drivers, but here in the race. A couple drivers not in the playoffs, him and David Hartney, both out here for pride, trying to get themselves a win in the SCSRA Truck Series. New look for the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. You see, our playoff drivers will be signified by the green banner on the hood, the green banner on the windshield, the green spoilers, and of course designated by the green name both on the ticker and the tower. See Brett Merle again out here. Brett is one of the playoff drivers, not running the banner here tonight, but you can see on the left side of the screen, he is highlighted in green, showing he is one of the playoff drivers. So again, not all the drivers have put their banners on like they should have, but that's all right because you can still find them on the screen there. It's just the easiest way to designate your playoff driver. See Joe Wright out on track as well. Joe considers this kind of a home track for him, as he's not too far from Richmond, Virginia. As qualifying is about to get underway here at Richmond. Let's see who the first driver is to get themselves out onto the racetrack to try to make their way to take that pole position. It looks like Brett Merle will be the first driver out on track. Of course, don't forget, if you're watching at home, don't forget to hit that follow button, like, and subscribe. Share the stream with anybody you think might enjoy this kind of thing. Hit that little notification bell so you know anytime we go live here on Intensity Broadcasting. Brett Merle currently the first driver to put a time down. Cheeseburger Lawrence is going to be second quickest so far. As Brett's going to currently sit on pole. See what Cheeseburger is able to do here off of turn number 2. And Jacob Alberg goes up to the P2 position. Joe Wright currently in 4th. A rookie driver, see what he's able to do here on his second lap. And Albert stays up in that second position. Jeffrey Belk, your regular season champion, makes his way off of turn number 4. And across stripe, and he is currently 6th fastest on the board. Austin Blaylock coming to take the green flag here for his qualifying attempt. Coming down the backstretch, trying to keep as much speed as he can on this slick track. Really difficult to get the power down when the track is as slick as it is. We'll look at the weather in just a moment. Well, that goes 5th fastest on his first lap. Kevin Butchino says, oh, hey, Josh, over on the chat. Of course, we've got the chat open. So whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, or on Twitch, don't forget to chime in. Let us know who you're pulling for here tonight as we see Blaylock way out of shape off of turn number 4. Comes across the line 5th fastest. As we wait for more cars to get, our trucks to get out on track, let's take a look at the conditions these drivers are going to be faced with tonight. See that D-shaped oval, just about 3/4 of a mile. 79 degrees air temperature, 54% humidity, clear, which means the sun's beating down on the track, and you see that track temperature, 120 degrees. So that is going to make this track extremely slick here tonight. Actually, 128 degrees is the track temperature, so that's going to make it incredibly slick here tonight. So watch for these drivers to be slip sliding all over the track as they try to make themselves a winner here tonight to advance on to the next round of the playoffs. You go see Dave Wright out on track right now. Of course, a win and automatically advances you to the round of 8, which is what one driver is hoping to do tonight. But we do have a couple drivers who are not in the playoffs, just trying to play spoiler. Dave Wright really sideways down into turn number 1. It's that power down, comes down the backstretch into turn number 3. Oh, catches the wall off of turn 4, and that's going to disallow his time. See Brian Merle Jr., short track racer out of McKinleyville, California. We'll ride along here with Junior. See that back end step out on him, and he has to chase it all the way down the backstretch. It upsets his entry down into turn at number 3. Watch those hands down in the corner there. Looks like he's going to call it quits there. He moves up into the 3rd position. Still a couple drivers left to qualify. See Devin Butchino, Eddie Morris, David Hartney, all yet to qualify. So we've got a little break in the action. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. We want to thank our great partners here tonight, including Morris Customs, our series sponsor for all your iRacing paint needs, check out Morris Customs on Facebook. There is a link down below in the description. Don't forget to check out Race EPI for all your iRacing setups and coaching needs. Again, link down below. IntensityBroadcasting.com. Come support the channel, as well as Atlee Atman Reese's race career. We've got Devin Butchino out on track making his qualifying attempt. And this right here is one truck I expect to be extremely stout here tonight. We saw him in practice. The truck looked very steady compared to some of the other trucks that look very nervous out there. Comes across the stripe on his first lap. He's going to be up in the 9th position. Down into turn number 3 on his second lap. We'll see where he slides into here on the tower as he comes across the stripe. And Butch is going to jump up into the 3rd position. Now Eddie Morris out on track. Other driver we might see have a great night here tonight at Richmond. Down into turn number 1. On his money lap, already up into the 4th position. We'll see what he's able to do here on his second lap. Off of turn number 4, down to the stripe. And Eddie Morris is going to stay in that 4th position. So with about a minute and a half left, it looks like just one driver left to qualify. That's the 43, David Hartney, although I don't know if he is going to qualify here tonight. So we've got a break in the action. We also want to thank our great partner over at Butt Kicker. Of course, Butt Kicker is a well-known and established leader in gaming haptics. The award-winning line of Butt Kicker products lets the users feel low-frequency sounds. Their products are used and endorsed around the world by leading PC and console gamers, including professional sim racers. Patented design makes them incredibly accurate, powerful, and virtually indestructible. The Gamer Plus is a new and upgraded sim racing haptic that reproduces immersive, accurate, and powerful sim racing, flight sim, and gaming effects. To check out the full line of Butt Kicker products and figure out what's right for you, visit thebuttkicker.com. And over the weekend, I had my sister try out my iRacing rig, and she got to experience the Butt Kicker for the first time, and she thought that was probably one of the coolest things that she's ever experienced while playing on a computer. So definitely, if you're looking for that extra seat of the pants feel and want that little extra feedback, check out thebuttkicker.com. So just 20 seconds left here in qualifying. Looks like Dave Hartney is not going to make his way out onto the track. Well, let's remind you what these points look like coming into tonight. You see Devin Butchino up at the top of the leaderboard, and Jeffrey Belk sits back in 2nd. Colin Willems, Eddie Morris, Dave Wright, Joe Wright, Michael Lawrence, and Dustin Ean, your playoff drivers here tonight. We had one more driver just barely sneak in here tonight. So let's take a look at our starting grid. With Brett Merle in the 11th, starting on pole with Jacob Alberg sitting back in position number 2. Row 2 will find Devin Butchino in the 68 with Eddie Morris to his outside in the 8 machine. Our top 5 will be Brian Merle Jr. in the 13. With his outside, Jake McCarty in the 10. Row 4 will find Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence and Austin Blaylock, followed by Joseph Wright in the 82 machine and Jeffrey Belk in the 54. Rounding out the rest of the field in 11th will be the 84 of Dave Wright, the 43 of David Hartney, and sneaking in at the very last second, the 18 of Stephen Black, starting in the back of the field. So 104 laps will be the distance here tonight. The stage will be the end of lap 55. We'll see how long it takes for Stephen Black to work his way through the field with no practice and no qualifying. So pace truck moves the field around the track. So we see all those green playoff drivers. Of course, Brett Merle is a playoff driver. He just doesn't have the correct banner on his truck. Here does Brian Merle Jr. So a couple of drivers not running their banner, but again, the ticker will have a green highlight on the drivers who are in the playoffs, so you can find out where your favorite playoff driver is running at all times. The pace truck will be in this lap, and we're getting ready to go green flag racing. Getting ready to start our playoffs here at Richmond International Raceway. Go pace truck pulls down on the pit road. Brett Merle's going to lead him down to the starting zone. Green flag is in the air, and we are racing here at Richmond, and Merle already out in front ahead of Jacob Alberg as they make their way down into turn one for the first time. Devin Bucciano trying to make his way around that 00 machine as they come down off of turn number 2 for the first time. Butch down on the inside trying to make something happen as Brett Merle is going to lead the first lap here tonight in our first race of the playoffs. Bucciano dives down into turn number 1. Able to clear the 00 of Alberg. I told you, watch out for that 68 machine tonight. He knows how to save his stuff. He is fast, and he will be there at the end. A little further back, we see Cheeseburger Lawrence taking a look down underneath Brian Merle Jr. This is a battle for the 5th position. Both drivers are side by side right in front of Joe Wright, as Joe Wright's trying to move his way up towards the front. And Stephen Black is just getting his first laps underneath him here, trying to work his way through the field, trying to look down underneath David Hartney, but he's going to tuck right back in line. Joe Wright has a little bit of pressure from behind from his teammate, Austin Blaylock. Joe runs up a little bit higher. He'll use that little bit of a momentum to keep that truck out in front. Meanwhile, Brett Merle Jr. continues to lead over Devin Bucciano by right around 0.3 of a second. Dave Wright trying to take a look down underneath the 10 of McCarty, trying to take over that 10th position. Back up front, we see Brett Merle has Devin Bucciano right there, starting to reel him in. As we start lap 8 of 140. Butch trying to find that line, get around his teammate. Both Neon Racing drivers, 1-2. Dave Wright still working on the back bumper of Jake McCarty. Ooh, gets a little loose there off the corner, able to hold on to it. What a save for the driver of the 84 machine. And it may not have looked as impressive on here, but I'll tell you what, inside the truck, his hands were flying there. He's able to hold on to that truck and not lose any momentum. Stays right there with that 10 machine. You're seeing just how hard it is to pass on this slick track. Really hard to get the brakes, slow the truck down. Really hard to get the power down to get a run. You see Eddie Morris on the back bumper of Allbird. So right along here with the 00. He's going to take a look down to the inside, down into turn number 3. It's a little bit on the apron there. That upsets the truck a little bit, allows Allbird to have a little bit of a run off of turn at number 4, and he's going to have to tuck back in line and try it all over again. That's going to allow Brian Merle Jr. to sneak up into this battle as well. Stephen Black now taking a look down underneath David Hartney, trying to take over that 12th position. Door-to-door, side-to-side, down into turn number 3. Black slide up and take over that position, but here comes Hartney down to cross him over down into turn number 1. Hartney dives it down in the corner, locks up the brakes a little bit, almost loses the back end, able to hold on to it though. That's going to move Stephen Black solidly up into that 12th position. Starting to heat up as, oh, Eddie Morris catches the wall hard. It's going to allow Brian Merle Jr. to move right on by the 8 of Morris. Move Eddie, although Eddie's going to try to cross Jr. back over here down into turn number 1, but Jr. is going to slide down in front of Morris and solidly take that position away. Devin Butchino now. He'll try to run down his teammate in the 11. Don't look now, Jacob Allbird's starting to reel in that 68 of Devin Butchino. Of course, Allbird, one of our rookie drivers, making his playoffs in his first attempt here this season. Devin Butchino starting to get something going here. He's starting to reel in that 11 of Brent Merle. And Butch was my pick from the beginning of the race here. So to watch out for that 68 machine. He's showing why right now. As he is slowly reeling in that 11 of Brent Merle. Jeffrey Belk, our regular season champion, all over the back bumper of Austin Blaylock, trying to move himself up into the 8th position, trying to move himself forward here. On the chat, Logan Clark says Devin Butchino, fire. And Devin is on fire right now, trying to work around his teammate to try to take over the lead, get a bonus point for leading, and try to win the stage. Stephen Black now trying to work around the 10 of Jake McCarty. Again, with these high track temperatures, it's really tough to get the power down as Stephen Black almost gets it into the back of the 10. He's able to... Oh, now that McCarty gets up into the wall. Here comes Dave Wright trying to fight with Stephen Black. Move Stephen Black up into the top 10 as Austin Blaylock now under pressure from the 54 of Jeffrey Belk. We do a little, what I like to call, pump up the intensity. Listen to the sights and sounds here of Richmond International Raceway. See during the pump of the intensity that Devin Butchino was able to make his way around Brett Merle, take over the lead. Let's take a look back and see how he did that. Fighting down to the inside. Able to outbreak him down into turn number 1. That's going to move Butch up into the top spot as Brett now under attack from the 11 of Jacob Alberg. Jacob just not able to make that move just yet. Here comes Brian Merle Jr. in the 13. Trying to move himself up into a top 3 position here. Trying to get all the playoff points and stage points as he can. Oh, big slide out of the 11 of Brett Merle. That's going to allow Brian Merle Jr. to maybe get a run here on the 00 of Alberg. It looks like the rear tires on that 11 machine are just gone right now as he is not able to get the power down, and Butchino is able to pull out to almost a 1-second lead. Oh, Alberg up into the wall. So a great 3-car battle here for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th as Devin Butchino continues to pull away, and Eddie Morris now starting to work his way up into this battle as well. So he's currently about a half a second behind Merle Jr. Alberg trying to hold on to that 3rd spot. Well, Stephen Black up 5 positions. Didn't have any practice, didn't qualify. His first laps were here on the racetrack during the race. Currently up into the 8th position. Just made his way around Jeffrey Belk. Starting to run down Cheeseburger, who's 2 seconds ahead. Alberg now under pressure from the 00, or excuse me, from the 13 of Brian Merle Jr. He's able to stay out in front of Jr. for the time being. But Alberg currently in a Merle sandwich with Brett Merle in front, Brian Merle behind. And a hard charging Eddie Morris coming into the picture here as well. Big part of this as well is who's able to save their tires the best. We've seen these drivers slip sliding out there all race long. As we mentioned before, the track temperature incredibly high. So yeah, track temperature is raised now to 132 degrees, making the track even slicker than when they started. It's all about who's able to adjust and save their stuff the best. Right now, the class of the field is the 68 of Devin Butchino, who is continuing to pull away up front. Hear that truck. Gentle on the throttle, gentle on the gas. A little counter steer there off of turn number 4. And that's how he's able to pull away from Brett Merle. Oh, who's sideways off of turn number 2. What a save again for the driver of the 11. Wow, we just caught that right at the right time. He's still trying to fight that truck, and here comes Alberg up to the outside. I don't know about you, but I wouldn't want to be Alberg up on that high side when we've seen how loose that 11 is, as Alberg now gets up into the wall just a little bit. It's going to allow Brian Merle Jr. to take a look down to the inside. Alberg's able to hold on to that spot. Here comes Eddie Morris trying to make the move up on the high side. So currently Neon Racing running 1, 2, 4. Eddie Morris trying to find his way around the 13 of Brian Merle Jr. Almost gets into the back of Jr. there. We're right along with the 13. As Brett Merle's under attack from the 00 yet again up on the high side. This time Alberg's going to make his way around the 11, but 11's going to fight back. And here they go, almost 3 wide down into turn number 3. Eddie Morris thought better of it. As we have just 10 laps to go in the stage. We've got quite the battle. As we have these 4 trucks side by side. Eddie Morris now slides up into the 4th position. He wants more, so he tries to go around the outside of Brett Merle. He's going to take away that third position. Brett's going to dive back down into turn at number 1. Eddie looks like he's been able to save his tires quite a bit better. Oh, Brett got loose again. Almost came across the nose of his brother. Brian dives down into turn number 4. Oh, Brett up into the wall again. He's just holding on here for that pit cycle so he can come down and get fresh tires. Hopefully get that truck fixed up a little bit, as he's been up in the wall a couple times now. Joe Wright trying to take that 5th position away. Alberg now up into the 2nd position, but he is 4 seconds ahead of Devin Butchino. We see Devin coming down the backstretch. Here's Alberg just coming off a turn at number 2. Eddie Morris in tow. Joe Wright has now been able to get around the 11 of Brett Merrill. So Brett, after leading so many laps, being up front for a little while, now finds himself sliding backwards with that heavy damage to the right side of his truck. As we're about 5 laps away from the end of the stage. Stephen Black has moved himself up into the 7th position. Not making his way through the field as quickly as I thought he was going to. But just like all the other drivers, another driver struggling for grip. So we see, a little contact here between Austin Blaylock and Dave Wright. It's a battle for 11th, 12th, and 13th. All these trucks back here have seen better days. You see all the damage to all 3 of these trucks, as they're just trying to hold on till the end of the stage. With the hard-charging Devin Butchino not too far behind. Back to you, we got Jake McCarty here. You can see that 68 inching closer and closer. So we have just 2 laps left in the stage. Stephen Black now trying to get around the 11 of Brett Merle. Black's going to be able to clear the 11 with ease. As Devin Butchino gets the white flag for the stage. 1 lap to go here. With a 4.5 second lead over 2nd place Jacob Alberg. We'll see if he is kind enough to keep his teammate on the lead lap here. As he comes off a turn at number 4, and he is going to take the checkered flag for the stage. Jacob Alberg is going to come home in 2nd. Eddie Morris in 3rd. Brian Merle Jr. 4th. Joe Wright 5th. Stephen Black gets 6th. Brett Merle back in 7th. Cheeseburger 8th. Jeffrey Belk 9th. And the final playoff point, or stage point, goes to the 43 of David Hartney. So pace truck just coming off of turn number 2, catching the field. And again, your winner here of the stage is the 68 of Devin Butchino, who we'll talk to right after our cycle of pit stops. See the field making their way down onto pit road, and everybody coming down pit road to get tires and fuel. The magic of iRacing will be able to slide ourselves down here to see who wins the race off of pit road. A little drone action here, if you will. And Devin Butchno will win off of pit road. Allbird second, Eddie Morris third. Brian Merle, Stephen Black comes off pit road in fourth. Brett Merle fifth. Joe Wright, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence sixth. Jeffrey Belk, Joseph Wright in seventh. Jeffrey Belk eighth. Austin Blaylock in ninth as we get ready to talk to our stage winner. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
Man, great run there. Let me turn you down a little bit. That was a little loud on my end. Great run for you there in that first stage, or the stage there, to get the win. Looked like you were able to save your stuff a little bit better than anybody else out there. I know the track continues to heat up and get slicker and slicker. Kind of talk about the track here for those at home watching.
Yeah, it's really slick. I don't know if it's still 128 when we started, but the rear tires don't want to really stick on exit, so you really have to baby it, and I can feel like you're giving up a lot in the beginning of the run, but if you take care of them right, you'll be there at the end. Definitely used up a lot trying to get by Brett. It's really difficult to pass on the bottom because you can't throttle down, and there's a lot of wheel spin. So yeah, you really have to take care of them. It's kind of like driving with an eggshell under the gas pedal, kind of like New Hampshire. So hopefully we can do it for 80 more laps and keep the Steph Sports Card truck up front.
All right, man. Well, you can call your lane here before we let you go and move you back.
All right. Thanks, Josh. I appreciate it.
And good luck the rest of the way out, and hopefully we'll talk to you at the end.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
So it looks like Butchino is going to choose the high lane on his restart here. As the base truck gets ready to make that hard left-hand turn on the pit road, as you can see, the track temperature is now cooled down to 131. Green flag is back in the air. We are back racing. Another great jump for Butchino as he's able to get out in front of Allbird. Allbird, though, sees a mirror full of Eddie Morris making his way around Brian Merle Jr. While these tires are fresh, these drivers are going to try to make hay while the sun shines as Jr. slides back a little bit. He's got Stephen Black side by side with Jeffrey Belk right behind him. Black's going to try to make the move down to the inside. And now that Stephen Black knows what these tires are going to do, he is going to try to work his way through the field much quicker than he did on the first round. As Jacob Allbird stays up in that second position, Eddie Morris able to clear Brett Merle and moves up in the third. Eddie Morris now taking a look down underneath Jacob Allbird, trying to take away that second position. But Jacob's going to fight back hard up on the high side. Eddie's going to clear that 00 machine and move himself up into the second position. Now Stephen Black moves around Brett Merle and up into the fourth position. So Black's figured out this slick track. So he's now moved himself up in the fourth, and he is trying to run down the 00 of Allbird. Meanwhile, Jeff Belk trying to run down Brian Merle Jr. Here comes Brian Merrill Jr. taking a look down underneath Brett Merrill. The brothers are side by side through turns. Excuse me, through turns 1 and 2. Oh, Belk makes contact with Brett Merrill. Jake McCarty all over the track as well. Not really sure what happened there, but we'll take a look here. It looked like still very difficult to say exactly what happened right there. Could have been a little bit of net code. See if we can get a good view here. You see the tire marks there as Merle was out of shape, and looks like Belk may have just overdrove it just a little bit. They kind of just take up the same place on the track. Brett Merle's now coming down on the pit road. Looks like he's going to come get that damage fixed up. As Devin Butchino continues to lead over Eddie Morris. And Stephen Black starting to catch that 0-0 of Alberg. Devin Butchino now out in front by 3/4 of a second over second place Eddie Morris. Morris, last time by, just a 10th slower than Devin. Albert was a little quicker than Eddie. But Devin Butchino continues to be the fastest truck out on the track. As Stephen Black now takes a look down to the inside of Jacob Alberg, trying to take over that second position. I'm sorry, that third position. Stephen Black just not able to get the power down to get around the 0-0 of Ziggy. Right along here with Stephen Black. Just not quite able to pull up alongside that 0-0. You see Brett Merrill back out on track. He is currently 1 lap down, but he's got his damage fixed up and out there trying to keep something happening in case the yellow was to come out. He can get himself back onto the lead lap and put himself in a position to win this race. Earlier we saw the Merrill brothers battling it out on track. Now we've got the Wright brothers battling it out on track. Joe down on the inside getting around his brother Dave. D. Wright gets real loose there off of turn number 2, and he's going to slide right back in behind his brother as they come off of turn number 4. Dave Wright told me before the race how much this is not one of his favorite tracks. He's doing everything he can to try to put himself in a good position to get a good finish here tonight. As this time Joe gets loose off of turn number 2. That battle continues. Stephen Black has been able to get around the 00. So we see exactly how it was done. Down into turn number 1. Albert just not able to get the power down up on that high side. Does catch the wall just a little bit. That's what allowed Stephen Black to get right out in front and move himself up into the 3rd position. But still the fastest trucks on the track are Devin Butchno and Eddie Morris. Last time by, Butch ran a 71, Eddie Morris ran a 72. Stephen Black ran a 73 and Albert ran a 74. So your top 4 within 100th of each other lap time. We do know that there is one more pit stop that needs to be done, as Devin Butchno has a 1 second lead over Eddie Morris. Not able to build the lead that he had the first run here tonight. Currently up in that top spot, continuing to set the pace. And trying to sweep both the stage and the race here tonight at Richmond. See Brian Merle Jr. running down the 00 of Ziggy Alberg. Oh, Brett Merle having some issues here. Not sure what happened to this 11 machine. Well, looks like he is parking that truck for the night. See Brian Merle Jr. continued to try to run down the 00 of Jacob Alberg. If he was Junior tries to get the run off of turn number 4. Just not quite close enough to make the move. Now he's going to dive down into turn number 1. He's going to clear that 00. Like Ziggy was trying to make a move back to the inside with a crossover, but did not happen as Junior now moves himself up into the 4th position. And Ziggy now makes his way down onto pit road. So the first driver come down pit road and get tires and service is going to be the 00. Maybe a little bit of strategy here. With 50 laps to go, you will be able to make it to the end of the race from here. So let's see who the next driver is, see if anybody follows suit here. With Devin Butchno pulling away from Eddie Morris as much as Morris is, and Morris just got passed by Stephen Black. I wonder if maybe Morris, Brian Merle Jr., Jeffrey Belk, one of those drivers might try to use the undercut as well. but so far it looks like everybody's going to stay out on track. And you look at that 68 machine, the attitude of that truck just looks totally different than some of the other trucks out there. Nice and smooth, able to roll the center, keep that truck right down on the yellow line. Back end doesn't look like it's sliding around too much. Just looks like that truck is hooked up right now. There's a couple more drivers come down on the pit road. We see the 47 of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence on pit road, along with the 10 of Jake McCarty. Seeing if they can gain a little bit of time on Devin Butchino here by pitting. Again, those fresh tires, again, back out on track. Looks like new tires are making a huge difference. As last time by, the 00 of Allbird was able to run almost a full second faster than Devin Butchino. So Butch out there, still turning laps, still leading. He's got over almost a 2-second lead over second place Stephen Black. Stephen Black, though, he's gotten around Eddie Morris and he's pulled away. And right now, Stephen Black is the second fastest truck on the track, with Devin Butchino being the fastest of those who have not pit yet. Here comes Austin Blaylock down on the pit road. I see Eddie Morris in that 8 machine. Just holding on as we have, next time by, we'll have 40 laps to go. Jeffrey Belk now on pit road. So green flag stops are starting as Devin Butchino tries to put the 43 of David Hartney a lap down. Instead, he's going to peel off on the pit road and give the lead to Stephen Black. So here's our leader down on pit road, along with his teammate Brian Merle Jr., both on pit road. With Stephen Black out in front. Let's see if Black comes down pit road anytime now. He's going to pass the entrance pit road. So is Eddie Morris. So now half the field has pit, half the field has not. You see the speed difference here as Jake McCarty goes around the 18 of Stephen Black. And now Joe Wright, barely makes it on the pit road. Saw that truck slideways coming off of turn number 4, trying to get on the pit road. He's able to do it. But your top 4 continue to stay out. That's Stephen Black, Eddie Morris, David Wright, and Dave Hartney. Of course, Hartney is just barely, actually he is no longer on the lead lap as Stephen Black has gotten around the 43. And here comes Eddie Morris around as well. So just 3 cars on the lead lap. Stephen Black, Eddie Morris, and David Wright. One of these drivers going to make their way down on the pit road as they are losing a ton of time for those drivers on fresh tires. Put in perspective, last time by, Stephen Black ran a 24-28. And Devin Butchno just ran a 22.7. So about a second and a half quicker on newer tires. Here comes Stephen Black on the pit road. That's going to leave Eddie Morris out on track. Eddie Morris is going to lead a lap here tonight. As he's got Jacob Alberg and Devin Butchno racing right in front of him. That's going to put both those drivers back on the lead lap. And here comes Eddie Morris down on the pit road. Leaving just the 43 of David Hartney out there on old tires. Hartney's trying to stretch the fuel. You ride along with the 43 and you can hear him shutting the truck off down into the corners. Here comes Jeffrey Belk around. And that puts Devin Butchno back out in front by almost a second over the second place driver, Jacob Alberg. And Jeffrey Belk in third. So Belk trying to use some strategy here to get himself back onto the podium. The battle here between Michael Lawrence and Austin Blaylock. Both drivers side by side, door to door off of turn number 4. Blaylock with the advantage for the time being, as we have just 30, coming to 30 laps to go. You see Lawrence get really loose there off of turn number 2. Drives it on in there, but Blaylock able to get the power down just a little bit better, but they stay side by side off of turn number 4. Meanwhile, Stephen Black has just got around David Hartney to put himself up into the 5th position. And these 3 drivers continue to battle it out. Austin Blaylock, Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence, and Joseph Wright is, ooh, Cheesy slides way up the track, almost takes out the 82. Joe Wright's able to squeeze on through and move himself up into the 8th position. You're not going to miss tomorrow night as well, as the playoffs start for the SCSRA Dev Sports Cards Xfinity Series. So they start their playoffs tomorrow at Kentucky, and here comes Joe Wright taking a look down to the inside of Austin Blaylock. As Joe Wright moves up into the 7th position. Right now, it's all about the 68 of Devin Butchno, who's currently 4.5 seconds ahead of 2nd place Jacob Alberg. For Butchno, the last thing he wants to see is a caution. For Ziggy, he would love to see a caution right now. Try to even up the field, get everybody on fresh tires, see if he can make a run for his first career win here in the SCSRA. Right now, just trying to hold on to a podium spot with a hard-charging Jeffrey Belk right behind him. It's 24 laps to go. We'll take a look at the conditions now, see if the track's gone up in temperature. Nope, still 131 degrees, so, but still slick out there. It's not like the track's cooling off any. And Jeffrey Belk right there on the back bumper. quite able to make that move happen. It's going to look up to the high side this time, but just not going to get the run. And here comes Stephen Black from behind as well. We see that pink and green machine coming into the picture here. Belk, though, still not quite close enough to make that move. And here comes Stephen Black. As Belk looks up to the high side, or low side, excuse me. Look at the speed that Stephen Black has right now as he's able to just pull right to the back bumper of Belk, and he's going to move right on by as well. So move Stephen Black up into the second position, but he's got a long battle ahead of him with 20 laps to go. And 7 seconds to Devin Butchino out front. But now that Stephen Black has some clean air, let's see if he's able to pop off some laps to try to catch that 68 machine. Brian Merle Jr. now looking down to the inside of the 00. So Allbird, being the first driver down on the pit road, trying to run that undercut, just did not work for him as he continues to slide backwards. Currently back into the 5th position. Ooh, Jeff Belk, I think he just caught the wall. Take a look at that side of that truck as he comes off of turn number 4. Maybe he didn't catch the wall. Maybe he just got really loose and close to it. Looked like he bounced off the wall, but he was able to somehow keep it off the wall. And now he's under attack from Brian Merle Jr., who's on a little bit fresher tires. And you know Junior's looking for a podium here at Richmond, the short track specialist. Run short tracks for real. This is right up his alley, and in his DNA here is that truck that he runs is very similar paint scheme to what he runs in real life, as he's able to move around Jeffrey Belkin up into the 3rd position. Now it's a 2-second gap up to Stephen Black. And Stephen Black trying to run down Devin Butchino. It's 6.5 seconds with 15 laps to go. And Butch is stuck back in a little bit of traffic right now as he's working around the inside of Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence. Last time by, Butch ran a 22:59. Stephen Black ran a 22:50. So about a 10th quicker Stephen Black is. And with Devin Butchino back here or stuck here in traffic, it's going to slow him down just a little bit more. That might allow Stephen Black to catch up just a little bit more, but with 13 laps to go, I don't see Stephen Black catching up unless the caution is to fly. Jeffrey Belk's starting to run Brian Merle Jr. back down here. As Jr. had a little issues getting around the lap truck of Jake McCarty. Now Jr. starting to pull back away from Jeffrey Belk. But up front, coming to 10 laps to go, Devin Butchino out in front. Devin Butchino trying to sweep both stages here and get the win at Richmond. Just 8.5 laps separate him and the checkered flag. And it's 6 seconds, back to second place, Stephen Black. Unless the yellow is to come out or something catastrophic was to happen to the 68 machine, he's going to be pretty much on cruise control, as both Butch and Black are running pretty much the same lap times. See those lap times right there, and they've kind of been trading them back and forth. Black's been a little bit quicker. That time Butch was a little bit quicker, so all Devin Butchino has to do now is run 6 more clean laps. See Jacob Alberg working around the lap truck of Jake McCarty. As he's trying to run back down the 54 of Jeffrey Belk, who runs up in 4th. Just tags the wall a little bit with the rear end off of turn number 2, which is really easy to do, especially when the track is as slick and hot as it is right now. But just 5 laps to go for Devin Butchino, who's made his way around Austin Blaylock, put him a lap down. And it looks like it's going to be pretty much smooth sailing to the checkered flag. I don't see any more lap traffic impeding the progress of the 68 machine. Stephen Black has now cut that lead down under 6 seconds, but we're just coming to 3 laps to go. Again, unless the caution was to come out, it's Devin's race to lose. Off of turn number 2, just trying to be smooth. Has that truck in cruise control. Coming across the line this time. Flagman's going to have popsicle sticks up in the air. 2 laps to go. Of course, once the white flag comes out, the yellow flag will be put away. Off of turn number 2. And Devin Butchino is just 1 lap away from punching his ticket to the round of 8. 1 lap to go. 4 corners. Can Devin keep that truck under control with a huge 6-second lead over second place Stephen Black? Down into turns 3 and 4 for the final time, and Devin Butchino is going to punch his ticket to the round of 8. Stephen Black's going to come across the stripe in second. How about this? Brian Merle Jr., another Neon driver, coming across the stripe in third. Jeffrey Belk brings it home 4th. And Jacob Alberg with another great run in the 5th spot. But how about that? Devin Butchino getting the win, sweeping the stage and the race. And again, punching his ticket to the round of 8. So he's going to come down onto the front stretch, get his picture taken with the rest of the top 3. Then he's going to celebrate his win here tonight at Richmond. While he celebrates here, let's take a look at the results. Again, Devin Butchno gets the win, punches his ticket to the round of 8. Stephen Black brings it home in second, not quite able to spoil the playoff party. Brian Merrill Jr. brings it home in third. Jeffrey Belk and Jacob Alberg, your top 5. Eddie Morris comes home 6th. Joseph Wright in 7th. Austin Blaylock brings it home 8th. Michael Cheeseburger Lawrence in 9th. And Dave Wright round out your top 10. And Jake McCarty, Dave Hartney, and Brett Merle round out the rest of the field here tonight at Richmond. Let's go ahead and interview our top 3. Just want to get our top 3 here on track. We'll talk to those top 3 drivers, starting with the 3rd place finisher, Brian. Well, doesn't look like Junior is in here just yet. As soon as Junior jumps down into the waiting room, we'll talk with our 3rd place finisher. But till then, we want to thank everybody for watching here tonight. Again, whether you're watching on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitch, don't forget to hit that like button, follow, and subscribe. Don't forget to check out our great partners here as well, including Morris Customs. For all your iRacing paint needs, check out Morris Customs on Facebook at the link below. For all your iRacing coaching and setup needs, visit raceepi.com. Support the channel by visiting intensitybroadcasting.com for hats, t-shirts, coffee mugs, mouse pads. All of our swag is right there, as well as Atlee, Atman Weises, and a couple other drivers racing swag there as well. So you can check all that out at the link below. And of course, our great partner over at the Butt Kicker for all your gaming haptic needs. Visit thebuttkicker.com. So let's see if we can talk to our 3rd place finisher, Brian Merrill Jr. Brian, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yes, sir.
Man, great run for you here tonight. Coming home, P3, a podium for you here at Richmond. I know short tracks are kind of your specialty. Talk about the racing out there, though. The track was really slick, and you're able to drive your way up onto the podium here tonight. What did it take to do that here tonight? And like I said, talk about your race here a little bit.
It's funny, I haven't finished in the podium spot in a while, so I didn't even remember about an interview, but let's see how this goes. So tonight, the racing was fun. Maybe not the best race to watch, but it was one of the best to be in. You got to love a setup where you're driving off the right rear, not the right front. So it was about throttle control off the corner and just taking care of those rear tires, trying not to slide them, leave black marks. I noticed a lot of guys were leaving some black marks off the corners, and I was doing really well, and I missed the exit of turn 2 and bounced off the wall once. Unfortunately, ended my 0x night, but yeah, it was just it was all about when to pit that, split that stage up. The tire fall off was pretty gnarly for 20 laps, and then they kind of plateaued. Maybe I came in a lap earlier, I might catch up a little bit closer to the top 2. I don't know. Steven was fast, Devin was fast. So, it's just one of those races where you had to be it was in the driver's hands, not as much as iRacing's hands. So, for the guys who could wheel them, you could wheel hard, and the guys who couldn't, we saw some guys that were just a little slower, and maybe those guys are better on a tighter setup.
Yeah, it looked like the track was really slick. I saw the track temperature was 131 degrees. And you talked about driving off that rear tire. Saving that rear tire really was the difference here tonight. I know you and Butch both pit on lap 100. Was that kind of the strategy, or was that just kind of luck that you both pit at the same time?
That was probably more of the strategy, but had we seen a couple guys come a little earlier, maybe we go with them. Uh, but we were pretty set on splitting that 80 lap run in half.
Well, again, great job here tonight coming home P3. Before I let you go, Brian, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give?
Yeah, my teammate Devin and Jake and Brett. Brett sat on the pole, had a good run going. Unfortunate incidents for him. Good win to Dev, McKillville Barbershop, and Dev Sports Cards and Intensity Broadcasting.
Well, good luck next weekend or next week at Michigan, and we hope to talk to you again soon.
Hopefully next week.
Have a great night.
Thanks, bud.
So that was your third place finisher, Brian Merle Jr. Let's bring in your second place finisher, Stephen Black. Steven, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
I got you, Josh. What's up?
Man, great run for you. No practice, no qualifying. Just came straight into the race. Started in the back and seemed like you struggled for the first stage there, but able to drive yourself up to second here tonight. Junior was talking about how slick the track was and really driving the truck off the right rear there. Talk about your race a little bit and what you were able to do to get yourself up to the front.
I really had to work on making passes because it's hard to pass in the truck. But I knew starting in the back it was going to be a challenge, especially not having run the track before. And I had my force feedback absurdly low going into this race. So it was a nightmare coming off of 2 until I was able to fix it, which it messed up my graphics somehow when I went into the tab to change my force feedback. So I was running probably like 50 frames a second for some reason. But yeah, it was interesting. It was a little slick, especially off of 2. It's got a weird like weight shift or something. Everywhere else it felt comfortable for me. I like driving a loose race car, so I felt more at home than probably some other people here, but it was a lot of fun.
A lot of battling, as you said, making your way through the field there. There's some sketchy moments there for sure. What were you able to kind of concentrate on and do to get yourself through the field? Because, like I said, it seemed like there was a couple times there where drivers were completely sideways in front of you, and I'm sure there's a couple pucker moments throughout the race.
Yeah, I know I tend to drive in a little deeper in corner entry, and I had to really pay attention to that. I think I got into the back of Jake McCarty at one point, which wasn't intentional, but I just wasn't expecting him to slow up when he did. But yeah, I was just able to race the guys clean, making my way up to the front, and then the stage really helped us and or helped me out, especially with a little bit of knowledge on what the track was doing and what the truck was doing too. So.
Well, again, awesome job driving your way up to the podium here tonight. Before we let you go, Stephen, anyone you want to thank, any shots you got to give here tonight?
Yep, shout out to Brian Nudie. Shame he couldn't make it tonight. He's probably still sick or with a 1400-degree fever. Shout out to Dustin Dean, also not here. I know he was here with us in spirit. You're in my thoughts and prayers, Dustin Dean. Shout out to Eddie Morris, Austin Blaylock, Joe Wright for keeping it down in the Discord channel, and shout out to Devin for winning tonight.
Again, congratulations, Stephen, and good run tonight, and good luck next week at Michigan.
Yep, thanks, Josh.
Have a great night. That was your second place finisher, Stephen Black. Let's bring in your winner here tonight, Devin Butchino. Devin, you got Josh up in the booth. You got me?
Yeah, I got you, Josh.
The sweep tonight, getting the stage win, getting the race win here tonight, dominating fashion as well. Seems like you had more speed than anybody out there and was able to save your tires the best. just seemed like isn't just the right night and right combination for you tonight. Talk about your race though. It seemed like started back a little bit, started up in the second row, able to get up to the front quickly and just stay out there.
Yeah, it's just something about these trucks, man. Because I mean, we did the same thing at Bristol this season, and then went there in Xfinity and laid a goose egg. So in Xfinity here at Richmond, we also kind of laid a goose egg, barely got stage points. So I wasn't expecting too much tonight, but the setup was it was such a driver setup. You know what I mean? We're not pushing off the right front. The track was hot. The track was slick. You could push yourself, but you could also take care of it to where you had a little more at the end. And very few and far between with these iRacing setups. You get setups that you can drive where you're driving off the right rear out on pretty much the exit of every corner. So Brett was really fast. I'm really proud of Brett. Really proud of Junior. It was a really good night for Neon to start the playoffs. Brett had a really fast truck, got caught up in trouble in the back. Junior put together a solid race. It's really hard to pass Brett. It was really hard to pass here. I'm glad we didn't have to pass anyone but lappers after we took the lead from him. But yeah, we just kind of ran it like we do a lot of races. I don't normally have blow out of the gate speed. Need long runs to come through at the end, and kind of just kept it even. I think we saved the tires, so we were pretty even throughout. And yeah, just really good night. I think it's the most laps we've ever led, so that's really cool. The place didn't really expect to come out here and do that tonight, so it's awesome.
Well, you talk about the lap cars and the long run. Were you kind of surprised that we didn't have a caution there at the end? Because as loose as the track was, I know we saw a lot of trucks sliding around tonight. We saw a lot of trucks completely sideways, but we didn't have any cautions besides the stage break. Did that kind of surprise you a little bit?
I wouldn't say it surprised me. I mean, I think it's a real testament of the guys that are showing up week in and week out. Definitely appreciate them showing up and showing out for us. They've come a long way. Everyone in this league, top to bottom, has come a long way this season. A lot of guys have. There's 5 different guys I could pick for most improved driver this season. So it's really cool to see the speed that some of the guys have. And yeah, no, I think it's just a testament to the guys. I mean, the track race, just like Iowa does, you know how that is out of turn 4, where the truck just, if you get on the throttle, just a little too heavy, and then the truck comes around. But yeah, luckily everyone was able to keep it under them. And I had the broadcast going to the left of me, so I saw a lot of side-by-side battles, kept it straight, and I'm excited to go back and watch this one again.
Well, you were my pick right from the beginning to get the win, and you followed through. I know Logan was also cheering you on in the chat here tonight, so you had some support there as well. So before we let you go, Devin, anyone you want to thank, any shout outs you got to give here tonight?
Yeah, definitely appreciate everyone watching. You guys at Intensity, you do an awesome job. I think it's all of our favorite part to be able to go back and watch these races, watch those battles. But shout out to Dev Sports Cards, Morris Customs. Eddie does a phenomenal job on paints. If you need any iRacing paints, just reach out to Eddie. So I appreciate him being the series sponsor. New Craft Fine Jewelry and Design, Level Up Subs, McKinleyville Barbershop, and thank you for spending your Tuesday nights with us, Josh. We appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Well, again, congrats on the win. Good luck tomorrow at Kentucky. Oh, well, yeah. Good luck tomorrow night. And
yeah, I think it'll be a little harder to pass at Kentucky if it's anything like season 1.
yeah, it's for those of you that don't know, me and Devin have a little history at that track, but it's all in good fun. Devin, again, congrats tonight. Good luck tomorrow night, and good luck next week at Michigan.
Thank you, Josh. I appreciate it.
Have a great night.
You too. Thanks.
So that's your winner here tonight, Devin Butchno, sweeping the race here tonight, both the stage and the win, getting it done and locking himself into the round of 8. Of course, thanks again for everybody watching here tonight. Do appreciate y'all tuning in and spending your Tuesday night with us. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. Check out our great partners down below in the description. And of course, join us tomorrow night for the SCSRA Dev Sports Cards Xfinity Series as we take on Kentucky Speedway. Of course, I want to thank everybody for joining us here tonight. And as our boy Atlee Atman Weiss would say, over